best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out, oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, slide ways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out, oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, slide ways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RPG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out. Oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, slide ways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. No drama, race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. Down. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Race tough, keep it clean to the end might be enough. White flag, checker flies, out here with our friends living our best lives. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RPG rolling into your town. Smooth shifting, no lifting, we're not backing down. RTG, the best drivers around. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG rolling into your town. RTG, the best drivers around. Green flag, let's go. Come on boys, it's time to put on a show. Caution's out. Oh no, to the back of the pack is where we go. Slide jobs, slide ways is how we like to spend most of our days. Bump draft, bumper hook, we knew going in that's the risk we took. Pedal to the metal, we've got the throttle down. RTG roll.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of the season finale, Season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Aero88 series, as we take to Walt Disney World Speedway. They call it the most magical place on Earth. Tonight, one driver is hoping to have a little of their own magic racing-wise as they look to claim the championship. I'm Seth Cole alongside of Jack Mitchell. Jack, it's been a long, arduous road for these drivers. We have seen the point standings kind of accordion as the points lead has grown, then shrunk, then grown, then shrunk again. Tonight, 11 points separate the two titans of the season, Jeff Supta and Grant Wesley.
And we've heard Jeff Supta say when we interviewed him after these wins, he is not comfortable at all. He knows for certain that if he has one more bad race, Grant Wesley is right there to take advantage and take over the points lead here as we come down to the season finale.
It will be very interesting to see here with this 70-lap finale who will be able to claim that championship cup. Now, you saw here as we came on the air, you ended up seeing that special intro there courtesy of Jeff Supta, and you may have noticed the decal we have in the lower right hand corner of our screen for tonight's broadcast. We documented for numerous weeks the condition of Bob Dixon, longtime racer here at RTG and other leagues across the Air 2003 community. This afternoon, we ended up getting the word that a lot of us were dreading. Bob Dixon, unfortunately, passed away. And we also ended up hearing as well that another name that was known in the 2003 community also passed away as well. We have Sean Prime up here in the broadcast booth with us here. Sean, I unfortunately feel like this is a bit of deja vu when we were having the tribute for David Cannon earlier on this year, but appreciate coming up here in the booth to join us. And we understand that you've got a little bit of some history here of Bob Dixon and Rolling Thunder Gaming.
Yeah, and great to see you guys, and sorry for the circumstances, Seth, but thank you guys for putting this on as usual. I'll be short. We don't have a lot of time here as we're watching these two cars go around the track, which is just oh so cool. Bob was such a pragmatic guy, even in life, and he approached everything he was dealing with such confidence and forethought. And we shared a lot of stuff together, which about it, because he was just Bob right through the end. But I want to share a more funny story. There's a lot of things out there, and I want to make sure I mention that Bob's wife, now widow Dee, has asked us to post a link to Bob's obituary and memory book. It's on our Rolling Thunder Gaming Facebook page right now. If you see there, she said, everybody and anybody, please visit that, sign your name, tell a story if you want. It'd be really cool as we're watching the two cars here of Bob and Bones. You can't help but be emotional. They're taking these things and putting them away down the tunnel into the infield, and that's a pretty cool thing right there.
Certainly is.
So I'll try to get a quick funny story in, because Bob, he's been everywhere, and everybody knows Bob, and Chris Elliott, especially down there, see us in the race tonight, has known Bob for a heck of a long time. We're happy to see Chris here and stuff like that. But if you could visit that link on our Rolling Thunder Gaming Facebook page, check out Bob's obituary, sign his thing, tell his story. I'll tell a quick story real quick. Bob, came in to visit us, as he did with many places, and when he arrived here, he almost went out the door as fast as he came in, but not by the reasons you normally would think somebody would be shown the door. Bob was the professional gentleman, the man of character. There was nothing like that. But Bob was so good that he at that time looked through our rule book, which was really messy, redundant, and full of grammatical and spelling errors. We compiled it over a bunch of years, and he said, I can do this for you guys. I can clean this up. I can take care of this and this and this. And Terry at the time, he didn't want to hear too much about it. He's like, wait a minute, what's wrong with my rules? And Bob was just, this is something that was in his wheelhouse he wanted to do. And over the years now, we've made it better. But we were worried that Bob was going to go out the door right away. And he ended up being such a great asset as he is to here and everybody else. And just a genuine guy, a great conversation. I'm sure everybody has the stories. You sit down with Bob. It's always a great conversation, no matter what was going on to Bob. And they're getting to go grid up here and go green. So I won't go too long with you, but you know, we're hurting. It's been a rough year. You know, it's been a rough stretch. You know, we're of that age, but just shows what this community is. These people mean so much to us as we do to each other. We've gone to battle here on the track and made something last that nobody could have thought would last, and we've done it with these great people like Bob and like Bones and like Wiley, and the list goes on. And it's sad. We're thinking of Bob today, first and foremost, and remembering him and sending our wishes to Dee and to Tom and to the rest of Bob's family. We lost Bill Townsend. He's a name from the past that contributed a lot to the 2003 community. Suddenly yesterday as well, so we're thinking keeping Bill's family in our prayers as well. But for such a fitting tribute that those guys just put on for Bob. And I want to thank Jeff and Ron. They've done a heck of a job with this Wednesday series. They really have. It's cool. It's fun. They've taken us to places that never thought we would go to. Right here tonight, we're at Disney and about to go green. So I'm going to leave it there, Seth, as much as I like it, and let you have the call of this race. And we're going to just remember Bob as racers do.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, we appreciate you taking the time to come up here and join us and regale us with that story for sure. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, guys, and we'll talk. Enjoy the race.
As we are underway, green flag out, 70 laps of racing here tonight at Walt Disney World Speedway. Jeff Supta got the pole position, takes an early commanding lead over Brian Schilling. They were 3 wide for third place a moment ago. They've settled it out to double wide, but there is that 88 of Grant Wesley, and you know that his goal here tonight, keep that 11 within striking distance.
Boy.
He's going to get turned by Andre Charest, and the caution is going to wave. First caution of the night involving one of the championship battling drivers.
Now, thankfully, it looks like Grant did not get the worst of that. It was certainly hard to impact, so hopefully shouldn't be too much damage on that car, but that's championship implications right off the bat here, as Grant looks like he's able to keep it going.
Grant qualified in the 4th position. He was running in 3rd, and it was the 75 of Andre Charest behind him. You can see he's hard on the brakes. You can see the smoke coming out from behind that 75. He just couldn't get it woed up quickly enough.
I think the 88 had a bit of a harder hit with the one of Jeremy Jeffries there, but ultimately not as hard of an impact as Charest had. I mean, Charest we saw go up and over.
Yeah, just that kind of ricochet hit with Wesley, flips him up on his side. Jim Glaude got a piece of it as well in the 72. He's had a couple of good runs here this season, and you could see that dark gray smoke billowing out from underneath the hood of that 75. That is more than likely terminal. Charest may not even make it a full official green flag lap here before having an early night. Let's take a look at the impact for the one of Jeremy Jeffries as well, who comes into this race 3rd in the standings. Just gets clipped in that right rear quarter panel. Does a little 360 and able to keep it going. Maybe one of the small saving graces of that wreck for both the 88 and the 1 is this racetrack is only a mile in length. They don't carry a super tremendous amount of speed into the corners. I believe at the time of impact between Wesley and Charest, they were going roughly about 100 miles per hour, maybe a little up, a little bit higher than that. But not a high impact wreck like you would have at a bigger racetrack.
Charest definitely, he got the worst of that impact by the flip along of the contact with the wall. Grant Wesley, if they were going a lot faster, there's a realistic chance that could have been the end of his race.
Wesley has come down pit road. He's just now returning back onto the racetrack. They are making some repairs, one would assume, to specifically the right side of his machine. And I was going to bring this up, but now it's more prevalent than ever. for Grant Wesley, he's trying to not only keep the 11 within striking distance, but finish ahead of him here tonight as well. 11 points in arrears to Supta after Supta was able to pick up that what might be decisive victory last week at Southern National Motorsports Park. I talked with Jeff here tonight, and very grateful that he did the calculations, so that way we're not relying on my mathematics, but according to what he was able to come up with for a championship clinching scenario, he needs to finish 6th place tonight. If he can do that, regardless of if Grant ends up leading the most laps tonight and wins, he will lock up the championship. But if Supta finishes 7th on back and Grant's able to dominate the evening and pick up the victory, get those 5 valuable bonus points, then Wesley would get the championship by 1 point over Supta. As of right now, Wesley's got a lot of work to do to get into that scenario.
There's still plenty of time left. We're going to restart, I think, on either lap 6 or 7 of 70. So, got his work cut out for him early.
Definitely does, as Supta going to have the point here for the upcoming restart. There you see the lights out atop the pace car. Brian Schilling will line up to his outside. That was the front row when they took the green flag to start this thing. Josh Metallic, he'll restart in 3rd. Denny Carroll now moves up to 4th. 5th place will be Richard Martin with Bob LaChance in 6th. Jim Gloud, Jeremy Jeffries, Bobby Farrell, and John Godfrey are going to complete the top 10. Looks like we've got 13 drivers all running on the lead lap. One driver out of the race, that being Andre Charest, after that heavy impact over in turn 1. One driver that we do know has locked up a championship as soon as he took the green flag tonight. Congratulations to Bobby Farrell. He is the season 66 Challenger champion here on Wednesday nights. Unique racetrack, now defunct, is Walt Disney World Speedway. You can barely see remnants of it when you go to Walt Disney World. Kind of almost a mini Pocono, mile in length, but 3 unique corners. Turn 1, 10 degrees of banking, 8.5 degrees over in turn 2, and then a meager 7 degrees off of turn 3. And I was watching these guys in practice.
Oh boy.
We're banging doors back here for 4th place. Demar with a great save as he was nearly all the way down on the apron. But I was watching these guys off of turn 3, and a lot of them getting really loose trying to get the power down.
Yeah, and clearly that might still be an issue here because we had our first caution came because of a car that was not able to slow it down enough to avoid contact, and already just saw more door banging going on here. So that's something these drivers are going to need to get accustomed to really quickly, is the right way to slow it down in time to figure out how to make it through those corners as safely as they possibly can. Otherwise, we could have another incident like we saw in the beginning.
Wesley restarted last car on the lead lap, 13th place. He's made his way up to 11th, now trying to make the move on Bobby Farrell to crack his way back up into the top 10. There you see that wiggle I was talking about as you try and get the power down. Rear tires do not want to grip, and that could be a area of the racetrack, closing stages of this one, that could be decisive in making maybe a last lap pass for position. Something else that's not working in favor of Grant Wesley right now, not only involved in that incident, loses track position, but now going to have to use up a lot to make his way back up towards the front. Talked with Jeff, as I mentioned before the green flag here tonight. He said what we talked about last week, all that pressure on the right front tire at Southern National Motorsports Park, same song, second verse here tonight. We're looking maybe about 30 laps you can go on that tire before it may potentially explode. So we're looking maybe at 2 pit stops here tonight, that final one in the closing stages, if indeed this thing trends green to the end.
Like you mentioned, that's really going to hurt Grant Wesley as well because he's got to use up so much fuel and tires. He has to really push his car as hard as he can possibly push it just to have enough time to even catch back up to the lead. And that still won't matter in terms of the championship because that's not necessarily, even if he does overtake Supta for the race lead, Supta would still be running P2 and in position to take the championship.
It's interesting when we were talking with Sean Prime before this broadcast went live. He's actually got some legitimate on-track experience at this racetrack. Turned laps at Walt Disney World Speedway. And right now, Jeff Supta kind of looking like he might have turned some actual laps here. I mean, I'm looking at his lap times right now. Just a couple laps ago, he ran the fastest lap of the race so far at a 29.401, and he has opened up nearly 2 seconds back to Josh Metallic. So it looks like right now for Jeff Supta, there's no saving going on. He is full on go to build as much of a gap as he can between him and the 88.
Yeah, I think once he figured out that Grant Wesley was involved in that first caution, he figured, I'm going to have a lot of track position. I'm just going to go as much as I can here and try and get as far ahead of him as I possibly can.
I mean, if he's able to run a majority of this race out in front, take away that valuable lap-led bonus point from Grant, that could be extremely decisive into him playing the defense necessary to claim this championship. We mentioned about the back and forth between these two. Jeff comes into tonight with 5 victories. Of course, one last week at SNMP. Grant's got 4 victories. They're tied with 10 top 5s apiece, and then give Grant the slight edge in the top 10 category. 11 top 10s to Supta's 10. They've been pretty even here, specifically down the home stretch this second half of the season. Grant just ran his fastest lap of the race at a 29.532 as he looks to put the pressure on Bob LaChance. This would be for 7th place. We went back green, I believe it was on lap 7. We had about half the field stay out, half the field pit, so more than likely most of the leaders would be targeting that lap 30 mark that we talked about. The others that came to pit road, they might be able to go a little bit further. Maybe around lap 35 is when we'd see them make their pit stop. And if that is the case, maybe, just maybe, those that pit under this yellow, they may be looking at the upcoming pit stop as the only other one they would make tonight. Maybe split this race in half.
Maybe. I mean, it obviously just depends on how long these green flag runs go on and how much these tires can hold up if we're going to have another race where there's a lot of pressure on that right front.
Brian Schilling starting to close up the gap on Josh Metallic. That'd be for P2. You can see even right there. I'm surprised this far into the run that we're starting to see, we're seeing these cars still kind of wiggling on corner exit. And I'm not necessarily certain if that is the car actually getting loose or if we're seeing them put a lot of wheel into trying to turn the car off the wall as the tightness starts to build up with that right front tire heat. Throw a blanket over 3 cars here for 4th place. Denny Carroll trying to hold off Jim Glaude and Jeremy Jeffries. I mentioned Jeremy 3rd in points, 2-time winner on the season. Mathematically cannot win the championship here tonight, but wants to close out the podium in the overall standings. And Denny Carroll been very consistent this season as well. 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s coming into tonight. 4th in the standings, and right now pretty close between him and Randy Waugh for that position, but no 21 car in the field as we've got a car stopped up in the middle of 1 and 2. That is Chris Elliott.
Just got jump scared by a car just sitting there sideways in the middle of the turn.
So caution is going to wave for the 2nd time here tonight. Everyone able to avoid him safely. And this will make things interesting now into who pits and who doesn't. I'd be really surprised if anybody stays out. Maybe a driver or two stay out to lead a lap, but I think we're probably going to see everyone on pit road. This has been our longest green flag run so far, about 13, 14 laps.
And that could be a bit of an equalizer in this race, too, because Grant Wesley, he could have a chance to gain some field position here if he ends up coming off of pit road in a better spot than he does when he leaves or when he enters. So to keep an eye on where the 88 lines up, but we'll take a look at this replay here.
See what happens to Chris Elliott in the number 9 Fritos car, and doesn't look like any contact. Looks like it goes kind of up out of the groove there on entry and may have brushed the wall. I'm not sure if the wall kind of wall glued him a little bit and he spun as he came off of it, but he definitely was way up out of that darker colored pavement.
I think he really lightly brushed the wall there, but it looked like more of a braking thing. Again, it just looked like he had trouble I maybe want to listen to this car just to make absolutely certain, but it looks like he was just a little bit slow in that turn there.
Might have gone up there because you see the car to his inside. That's Jeff Supta. So he may have actually been going up to get out of the way of the race leader, and there just was no grip up there. I mean, that's the entire field going by him, putting him a lap down. And watch right here, John Godfrey going to take the high road there as Richard Martin takes the low road. I believe it was last week, too, at SNMP, we ended up 2 or 3 times taking a look at the POV of Jeff Supta. He kind of was where all the action was last week, and this week no different.
Absolutely the case.
Caution now for the second time here tonight. Looks like everybody came down pit road. The 11 team holds serve. He'll be getting us back under green with Metallic second, Schilling in third, Carroll fourth, and Gloud in the 5th position. While we're giving out congratulations for championships here this season, this past Monday night, Grant Wesley was able to pick up the championship in the Barebones Racing Series. 3 points he was able to have over Jeremy Jeffries to claim, I believe I was told, his 2nd championship in Barebones. And Doug Cady brought it home with the championship in the Challenger Series, a commanding, dominating performance, 42 points back to his nearest competitor. So congratulations to those 2 drivers, Wesley and Cady, on their Monday night championships here in season 66 of RTG. Green flag back in the air. The David Cannon scheme on Supta's number 11, trying to see if he can open up the same type of distance he did back on the last restart. Schilling trying to put the pressure on Metallic. It looked like, before that caution came out, Schilling had a slightly better, longer run car. Might have saved the tires a little bit better than Metallic. It'll be interesting to see if we go into a long run here, if Metallic maybe learned something on that run, or if Schilling will be able to reel him in again.
Oh, Grant Wesley just passed a ton of cars at once. I was about to say that he restarted about 7th or 8th or 9th or something around that, and he's already made his way back up to 5th.
Just got by both Jeremy Jeffries and Denny Carroll, who are in a tussle for the 6th position. Jeremy got a little loose off of the previous lap, and they're still knotted together. Wow, gracious!
Oh!
That's what I was talking about, that looseness off of turn 3. Carroll went down into the right rear quarter panel of Jeffries and nearly looped it. Great save, but look at all the track position and the running order positions that it cost him.
You'll take that, though, if it means your car didn't go up into the wall in
Oh,
the
yeah.
race.
At least you still have something left to fight with. Jim Glouch actually just made his way around Brian Schilling, so now Metallic going to have to worry about that Kyle Petty throwback. As Jim, little brush to the outside wall there off of turn 2. I have a feeling that particular section of wall is going to get a workout here tonight.
Absolutely. It feels like multiple drivers have already hit the wall in that section and a couple others here tonight, so braking in these corners feels like it's a bit of an issue with this track.
I mean, as I mentioned, I think turn 1's got the most banking, 10 degrees. That's not much.
No. That's nearly, not completely, obviously, but that's kind of reminding me of the last track that we were just at, in a sense, where it wasn't that steep of a banking, but enough to cause some problems.
And as I mentioned, we're not carrying nearly as high speeds here as we would be at a 1.5-mile, 2-mile racetrack, but we are going a lot faster than we did last week. That racetrack was under a mile in length. This racetrack is a mile in length, so we're dealing with higher speeds into the braking zones. And obviously as well with higher speeds means that that tire heat in the right front is going to build up exponentially quicker than it would have last week. As you saw Wesley make the pass there on Brian Schilling, move him up to 4th. So he is making forward progress after having his issue back on lap 2. The problem for him, though, is he's not ahead of the 11. The 11 has led now 27 of the completed 28 laps here tonight and is firmly, at the moment, in control of that laps-led bonus point that Wesley is absolutely going to need.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, if Wesley even does get around Jeff Supta, it's not going to be enough to win the championship, because if that just happens and Supta falls back to 2nd, that's not enough. Supta would need to finish outside the top 6, I think you said it was, and then he has to... And Wesley has to basically win, maybe get the fastest lap, or the most laps led, sorry, as well, so... I don't think this would quite be enough.
Nearing the halfway point here tonight in the season finale. And Supta, on the last run, he had over 2 seconds back to Josh Metallic. Here we are, about 5, 6, 7, 8 laps into this run, and Metallic not only is keeping in touch with Supta, he's actually starting to close the gap up little by little.
Making him a little bit uncomfortable right now, but there's a pretty decent gap between Metallic and 3rd place.
Listen in there, you could hear the major bringing of the throttle through the center of the corner. That's, I think, the first lift and throttle up is to see if the rear tires are going to grip, and then how long you stay in the throttle is how much confidence you have based off of that first test. Slightly different lanes being run here as well. You see Supta about a full groove off the bottom. Metallic almost has his left sides all the way down on that white line through turn 1. See how they approach turn 2. And I just noticed right there as well, as we were looking ahead to Supta, there's a bit of a drop down into that corner, kind of reminiscent of how you enter into a corner at Dover, where you have to deal with that bump and hope that the car settles.
Like this track is just a mishmash of a bunch of different elements from other tracks.
And that's something that drivers have commented on during the course of the season when we've talked to them post-race. I mean, even Sean Prime mentioned it earlier on tonight. Drivers loving the fact that this schedule has featured racetracks that they haven't raced at in a long time, or maybe have never raced at. I mean, when we were asked to broadcast the second half of this season, there were a lot of tracks that we looked at and we were like, what? We'd have to look at the INI to even figure out if it was a short track or a road course or a super speedway, what have you. Unique racetracks here on this schedule, and drivers have loved meeting the challenge.
There was one that we had to Google. It was one that think that we were at last week at Southern National Motorsports Park. You and I had no idea what SNMP night meant, so we had to do a bit of our own research on that one. It's been impressive to watch the way these drivers have tackled all these unfamiliar obstacles. That we have heard that, assuming that we are back for next season, we have heard that there are going to be a bit more familiar tracks on that schedule. So, see how they tackle that. Obviously, that'll be a problem for next season, though.
It's been a lot of fun to watch these Aero88 cars as well. We had the privilege of seeing them on Thursday nights during a few seasons of the Talladega Challenge Series. They moved over here to Wednesday nights, and yes, the season will come to a close here tonight, but if you haven't had your fill of Aero88 cars, just actually hold that thought. The caution's out. John Godfrey on pit road in the 7-Eleven. Not sure if he's the reason for it, but I did notice the leader slowing.
It looks like the only car involved, assuming nobody else chose to DNF.
Just past the halfway point here as well, which might make things very interesting into whether or not this might be the final stop of the night. Oh my gracious. Denny Carroll, John Godfrey in a battle for, I believe this was 10th place, and wow.
Sandwich between that car and the wall right there was John Godfrey, and sent both of them airborne.
Let's take another look at it here. Is coming off the corner. Denny Carroll looks like the car starts really pushing up. Godfrey looks like he's getting a little loose. And the impact there, as you said, the sandwiching of one car into the other just makes the both of them flip 90 degrees to either side, and both cars catch air on the back straightaway.
I think that was the end of Denny Carroll's day, and if that's the case, that's a tough break for the way to end his season. He's 4th at the points going into this race. He was in contention with only a few races to go until, I think, with about only like 3 or 2 left to go, but I was looking to end the season on a high note. That'll be an unfortunate way for it to come to an end.
He will more than likely still finish 4th in the standings. As we mentioned, Randy Waugh, 5th in points, is not in the field tonight. He was within 10 points of Jeremy Jeffries to maybe get 3rd, but this DNF will take him out of contention for that. He is indeed out of the race. Another driver that just got listed as out of the race was Richard Martin. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the 43 to cause him to retire from this race early. I'm wondering if maybe something mechanical happened, or did he just come down pit road and park his race car? Yeah. So not sure exactly what happened with Demar, but this is a look at it here. Everything looks normal. Coming down for what looks like routine service along with everybody else, and as soon as he pulls into his pit stall, DC is right about here.
We have to hope that maybe he didn't accidentally press the retire button.
He has left the TeamSpeak as well, so this may have been a scheduled disconnect. If indeed that is the case, then he's going to finish, it looks like, in 11th place. John Godfrey has now retired from the race. Along with Denny Carroll, they join Andre Charest back behind the wall. So that is going to leave us with 10 drivers running. 9 of them right now scored on the lead lap. I believe that Chris Elliott would be the recipient of the free pass here. So I believe all 10 cars will be on the lead lap. We'll update that once they go back green.
This should be a really interesting restart here. Grant Wesley going to restart 3rd right behind Jeff Supta as they go back green. The 39 might have gotten a bit of a better restart, though. Supta and Wesley are going to have the advantage of being on the inside. Might not be an advantage, though.
I mean, if Wesley's going to have any shot of winning this championship, he has to have the 11 in his rearview mirror. He has to pass him. And right now, he's got the 11 right in front of him. Wow, big brake lock up through the center of the corner there for Supta. I don't know if that was the car starting to ride up, so he slowed it up a bit, or if he was getting loose through the center, but tremendous save. You can definitely see that tire smoke, though.
Line Wesley chooses to run here. Does he maybe try and stay in line with Metallic? Yeah, he will for the time being, but nobody able to make any ground on Supta just yet for the lead.
Josh Metallic had a great restart on that top line. Looked like maybe he was going to be able to clear Supta for the top position, but now slots back into 2nd.
Ooh.
Contact between Gloud and Schilling off of turn 3. Schilling, who qualified on the outside of the front row, getting used up there, and that's going to drift him back to, I believe, the 8th position now.
Somebody else had a lockup just ahead. Was that Supta again?
It was, I believe so. That time into the entrance of turn 3, and look at this.
Oh, he's really slow.
Yeah,
right
all
now.
that momentum lost. You got to wonder, we talk about the buildup of the tire heat here at this racetrack. When we saw that first moment with him on the inside line, getting on the brakes, you gotta wonder if that wore those tires just enough that now the car is ill handling on the following laps.
Talk about another wrinkle being added to this championship fight is Grant Wesley right on the back bumper of Jeff Supta. If he makes a pass here, that would be massive.
Now here is the scenario for Wesley. Wesley has to win this race, and Jeff Supta has to finish 7th, or I'm sorry, has to finish 8th or worse. If he finishes 7th place and Wesley wins this race, Supta would still take the title. Why? Because Supta has led 40 laps here tonight. He has led more than half the race. That bonus point for leading the most laps is no longer on the table for the 88. And with only 10 cars on the racetrack still running, and can confirm all 10 on the lead lap, Elliott did get the free pass. Odds are not exactly in favor of Supta finishing outside of the top 7.
I mean, he would basically need to wreck out at this point, the way he's running right now. I almost wonder if maybe he's completely content with the way the race is right now, just kind of holding off Grant Wesley in his rear view mirror. Well, they're going to go by Josh Metallic. I was going to say, now he's even more happy if Metallic is going to be in the way of Wesley.
Like Metallic really just could not hold the bottom. Those last couple of laps went really high into the entrance of turn 1. Supta taking the shorter way around the racetrack will move by him, and now Wesley looks to put the pressure on that Buddy Baker throwback. Jeremy Jeffries up here in the conversation as well. These two cars, the 88 and the 1, they were wrecked going into turn 1 on lap 2. But they've now fought their way back up here into the top 4 and still may have a shot at it. Metallic a little, well, I was going to say loose, but I think he got a little tight there off the exit of turn 2 and had to bail out of the throttle. That allowed Wesley to take a look, but for the time being, going to ride in P3.
And if you're Wesley at this point, just keep chugging along. You never know what could happen to Supta. There's still plenty of time left in this race. Just keep going. Fight as hard as you can. You never know.
And even if you aren't able to take the championship, if you're Grant Wesley, you know, what's still on the table is the opportunity to be tied for most wins on the season. Match Jeff with 5 wins each. So we'll see how aggressive he gets here, as we will be at 20 laps to go next time by. See Brian Schilling now up into 7th place. He had drifted as far back as 8th. Been up in inside the top 4 most of the night after starting the outside of the front row, but after getting mired back in traffic, getting shuffled, hasn't been able to make up a whole lot of ground. Bob LaChance, who started 12th tonight, right now in 6th. And Jim Glaude, who I believe currently would be in line for hard charger of the race. He started this race from 16th. Whoa!
Oh!
That's Jeremy Jeffries. And I think I thought I saw somebody else slow as well. Maybe it was just him. The caution is out.
Jeffries looks like he's able to get at least back up to speed. Might have just had another moment where he had a rough corner. Might have hit the wall, was stuck for too long. Not totally sure. We'll have to go back and look, but it doesn't look like it was a race ender.
He was in P4 at the time, I believe. And let's see what happens with the Valvoline machine. Nobody really ahead of him, nobody behind him as he's making his way into, I believe this is turn 2, and wow. Normally when a car spins out, we get some kind of indication that they're going to spin out. That just seemed to snap from out of nowhere.
It did. Didn't really see that one coming. Didn't look like he was running any lane the wrong way or anything like that. It just kind of seemed to spin all by itself, really, before he completely got into that corner.
They're not as visible at this racetrack as they are at others. But there are 3 distinct seams as you go into the corner. As we bring it back here, you can see them there. And right now, Jeremy is straddling the second and the third seams. Let's see if he gets any of his tires on one of the seams, potentially, when it starts to come around. Yeah, the left rear, it's on that middle seam. So I don't know if there's something in it there. I know that a lot of tracks, those seams, actually, I believe they run the paint grip. So I'm almost wondering if getting the left rear on that line, if that might have played a part into the car starting to come around on him.
Again, all it looks like that happened was he had that bump. His rear hit the wall, but that looked like it was the extent of it. And assuming he will be fine to keep going on here.
Gets to lead a lap here as he pits the second time by, claiming the caution. And that will turn the lead back over to the 11 of Jeff Supta, who will now have Josh Metallic, Grant Wesley, the top 3 behind him. Bob LaChance and Brian Schilling will be the top 5. Well, this will conclude the season here tonight for the Aero88 series. Join us tomorrow night as we will begin the round of 5, the final 5 to compete for the championship for season 66 of the RTG Talladega Challenge Series. Had ourselves a tie for the 4th position, so 5 drivers will fight for the next 2 weeks to accumulate the most points to claim the championship. Join myself, Michael Norman, and Blaine Donlin, as we will be bringing you the simulcast on Tarnation TV and the Flatout Racing Network. And hey, be sure to join us as well Monday, December 15th. You'll see these Aero88 cars on track once again at Michigan as we get ready for the 2025 Christmas race for Rolling Thunder Gaming. So be sure to join us for that one, as well as the final 2 races of the Thursday night series tomorrow night and a week from tomorrow night as well.
Be very curious to see how this restart plays out, because again, you've got Metallic on the outside, Supta and Wesley on the inside. Last time it felt like Metallic had what it took to stay out in front for a little while, but eventually Supta got back out in front of him.
This restart's going to be with 25 to go, so one would assume we are done with pit road, unless we get maybe a 10-15 lap run and a caution comes out. But if we remain green to the conclusion, I think the pit crews can kind of kick back and watch the rest of this race with us. As Supta, Metallic, Wesley, LaChance, that's going to be the first 2 rows. Then Brian Schilling, Chris Elliott, now up into 6th after he had to take a lucky dog under the last caution. Jim Glaude, Bobby Farrell, Jeremy Jeffries, and Cy Jones, the last 10 drivers remaining. Green flag back in the air. Another great launch for the 39 on that top side.
Wesley was all over the back bumper of Supta. He nearly took it 3 wide, but I think lost a little bit of momentum in that turn.
Supta clear of both lanes. Now Wesley, Metallic go side by side for second into turn 2. Top line gets the better momentum down that short straightaway into 3. Way up out of the groove goes Jim Glaude, as he's battling with Brian Schilling for 6th. Jeremy Jeffries, who had that spin in turn 2 that brought out the last yellow, looking on, trying to work his way back up into the top 5.
Metallic in the wall there for a little bit.
I think at this point in time, you're basically the mentality of, I've got what I've got from here to the finish, so be very surprised if we see anybody in save mode. And to that point, Jeff Supta easily eclipsed his fastest lap of the night. I think his fastest lap prior was a 29.4. That time by 29.219. 126.5 miles per hour at a mile racetrack with 3 heavy braking zone corners.
That is a man who knows how to get it done at this racetrack.
Looked a little slow through the center of 2 that time by, maybe a little loose, and visibly looks like Metallic is closing up the gap. Bringing Grant Wesley with him, although Metallic just got loose on the entry of 1. But you can see how these top 3 have kind of come back together just a least little bit as we're closing in on 10 laps to go here tonight at Walt Disney World Speedway.
I hope that Supta didn't use up all this stuff on that really fast lap. I don't think he did, but yeah, like you said, visibly now Metallic and Wesley are gaining on Supta here. Problem is, I don't think there's enough time. We're inside 10 laps to go, and, you know, they're slowly gaining on him, but you can't be that slow, especially at this stage of the race.
So far this season, only 5 drivers have gone to victory lane. Supta with 5 wins, Wesley with 4, Jeffries with 2, and then 1 win apiece for Brian Schilling and Pat McCarskey. Josh Metallic is hungry. He would love to be the 6th driver to pick up a checkered flag here at the close of season 66. And he is keeping the pressure on Jeff Supta. If anything, he's keeping Supta honest. If Supta makes a mistake, Metallic is right there to pounce. We've seen already here tonight, you lose us that little bit of momentum. It doesn't take much to close up 5-6 car lengths.
Almost wonder if Supta maybe is happy with this right now. He's glad that the pressure is on there because he knows he can't slip up. He knows how close he is to sealing up this championship.
Bob LaChance now up to 4th. This is the battle for 5th. Schilling to the inside of Jim Glaude with Jeremy Jeffries looking on. Seeing who can get that final top 5 of the season, and Schilling will complete the pass off the exit of 2. Metallic is still there. It almost looks like Metallic is better on the entry to the corner to the center. I was going to say Supta looks a little bit better off, but as soon as I about to say that, he gets the wall off the exit of turn 1, and that allows Metallic to close up even more.
He's really gaining now. And Metallic obviously can't seal up the championship or anything, but getting a race win here in the last race of the season would be pretty good feeling for the 39 car.
Metallic has found something. Specifically over in turn 2. He has found something through the center of the corner, as now he'll take a little look to the inside, give Supta something to peer into his rearview mirror for. And this is a tough scenario if you're Josh Metallic, right? I mean, you have a 0 in the win column. You'd like to remedy that. The guy you got to get around is battling for the championship, and we have all remaining 10 drivers on the lead lap. If the 11 gets spun, potentially could finish outside of the top 8, top 9. He could finish in last car in lead lap in 10th place. Could put Grant Wesley maybe in the driver's seat for the championship. It's kind of a rock hard place scenario for driver 39.
I certainly do not envy him. I feel like he's hoping for the best possible outcome, which is just pass the 11 clean. And hopefully nothing else happens from there.
Less than 4 laps to go. I believe we have entered into the portion of the race we dubbed the point of no return. A caution between now and the white flag waving would end this race under yellow. As Supta continues to lead, only about maybe a car length now off of turn 2 over Josh Metallic. He's led the most laps here tonight. He's led a lap Wesley has not. This is Supta's championship to lose, and he's got 3 more miles to clinch it.
Oh, I must wonder, maybe Metallic finally, I don't want to say he's just going to back off and let Supta have it, but because it feels like there's that big of an intensity level left trying to make the pass, but that could change on the white flag lap.
Well, with how deep both Metallic and Wesley drove into turn 2 there, I don't think either of them are letting up.
I think Metallic just hit the wall. And Wesley had a little bit of a tire rub there, so.
believe his rear tire is locked up on the entry of turn 1. Throw a blanket over these top 3 here with 1.5 laps remaining. Looks like we are going to get around to the white flag. Can Supta pull off the sweep, win and championship here tonight? Again, really slower off of turn 2. That's where Metallic makes up so much ground. Keep an eye on this final lap on turn 2. That might be where Metallic can pounce for the win.
Gonna need to get really close here through these last few corners. I feel like when he's made up ground, but he hasn't been able to pass him just because he hasn't been right up to his back bumper or anything like that in this spot right here.
Runs a little wider there, maybe trying to diamond the corner, looks for that power off. He's within striking distance, but maybe that tap to the wall is going to be all she wrote. Through 3 and off to the start-finish line, Jeff Supta is going to pick up the win and the championship here tonight at Walt Disney World Speedway, his series-leading 6th trip to victory lane.
And a bit of a congratulatory bump there from his rival in the championship, Grant Wesley. These two went to war this season, but Jeff Supta, he can finally relax.
I was going to say, for the first time in, over a month, he can finally feel safe.
Keeps telling us he's been nervous. He doesn't feel great with the way that this thing has been playing out. He knew that he was just 1 or 2 bad races away from losing the lead to Grant Wesley. He came as close as, I think, 3 points earlier in the year, but Supta able to hang on at the end and got some congratulatory rubs for some other drivers here as he'll seal both the win and the championship in the finale at Walt Disney World.
And again, we could go back to that second lap when Grant Wesley was playing from behind after being involved in an early wreck. But let's take nothing away from Supta. He knew that the goal tonight of Grant Wesley was to get to the front and stay at the front. He turned back that possibility, leading 63 of the 70 laps here tonight. A dominating performance, coast to coast, pole to win.
Doesn't always work like that when you're trying to clinch a championship, but this is exactly what he wanted to have happen.
Dual burnouts by the respective champions. Supta takes the overall championship. Bobby Farrell, the challenger championship here tonight. And we'll be talking with both of those drivers as well as the other 2 that finished on the podium here this evening, Josh Metallic and Grant Wesley, in just a moment, as Supta going to take that David Bones Cannon paint scheme around for a Polish victory lap. It's been a tough couple of years for Rolling Thunder Gaming. The passing of Robbie Nisus, Wiley Coate, David Cannon, and most recently here yesterday, Bob Factoids Dixon, as well as Bill Townsend, as we heard from Sean Prime. And Supta, what an incredible season he had. He's going to park it right on the start-finish line here. Nope, we're going to celebrate a little bit more.
More burnouts.
Use all the good in those good years. Why not? We're going into an off-season. You don't have to save him for next race.
Probably feels really good for him, too, that he was able to win in that paint scheme. I think there was a little bit of extra meaning behind this championship here tonight.
For sure. Let's take a look at the finishing results here this evening, as I believe we only had 3 cautions during the course of this race. Supta will pick up the win. Josh Metallic second. Grant Wesley going to come up just short of the championship as he'll finish in third, but what a fight he put up second half of the season. Brian Schilling, good recovery for him as we saw him get shuffled out of the top 5, comes back to finish in 4th. Jim Glaude in 5th. Bob LaChance in 6th position. Jeremy Jeffries 7th. Chris Elliott 8th. Bobby Farrell, the challenger champion, in 9th. And Cy Jones, last car running, will complete the top 10. 4 drivers out of the race will include Richard Martin, John Godfrey, Denny Carroll, and Andre Charest. More than likely, the running order of the point stand, specifically the top 5 coming in tonight, will more than likely look the same at the conclusion of tonight's race. Supta, Wesley, Jeffries, Denny Carroll, and Randy Waugh going to be your top 5 in the final season standings. That's going to take us into our FRN post-race wind down. Let's see if we can dial up our podium finishers on the evening, as well as our respective champions. Let's see if we can get a hold of the driver brought it home P3 here tonight. So close to claiming the championship. Let's dial up Grant Wesley.
User was moved to your
Hey, Grant,
channel.
Jack and Seth up here in the FRN booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, I'll tell you what, uphill battle it seemed here tonight. The early incident all the way back on lap 2. You had to fight your way back up through the field. And then you were able to get on the back bumper of the 11. You just couldn't get around him. What little more did you need to go your way? Maybe some flipping of strategy to gain you track position. Was there anything that you could have done to get yourself out in front, give yourself more of a chance for this title?
Yeah, I played around with the idea of maybe doing 2 tires, but man, Supta was so good, honestly, on this track. 2 tires probably was not going to fare well for me. It was such a tricky track. It was a ton of fun. You know, I told you in the last interview that I haven't been here, and man, a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun watching Josh Metallic slide that thing around every single corner. I thought he was going to wreck every corner, but he kept going, and some laps he'd even close in on Jeff doing that. It was really amazing me, but no, I had a great time. Yeah, fun track.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up seeing you guys, it kind of seemed like you had your hands full here tonight. I recall you mentioning last week that you had no track time at this particular venue. How much were you able to figure out before the green flag dropped, and how much did you kind of have to continue to learn once the race began?
I was pretty close. I got a half hour practice in, and I was about a second off the pace when I started, and then at the end I was like 5th on the board, I think, and qualified 4th and wrecked the second lap, and I was close. Unfortunately, there early in the race, you know, we were just all tiptoeing a little bit, didn't know what to expect going into that turn 1 on the, I guess that was the 3rd or 4th lap, and I got hit from behind, but yeah, as the race progressed, I definitely picked up a little bit more as the longer we went. But yeah, man, congratulations to Jeff Supta. He's much deserving of this championship. Man, he's been up front every race. So yeah, and congrats on the win.
But we saw you go on a tear. We saw you get that 4 races in a row streak back during the month of October. You've made this battle right down to the end. Super close, super competitive, and super exciting. Grant, congratulations on a great run here tonight to cap off the season, bringing it home in P3. I know it's not the championship, but a great way to end out an incredible 4-win season for you. And also, congratulations on your championship that you were able to secure on Monday night in the Bare Bones Racing Series. Before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we'll take a championship on Mondays in the Bare Bones Series. That one kind of got away from me last season, so yeah, can't complain too much. But yeah, I want to talk about Bob Dixon. Man, rest in peace. He's going to be sorely missed, Mr. Factoids. That guy, just a few things about him, even in his last races, he was still able to qualify up in the top 5 anywhere you went. And in my early years of sim racing, he kind of helped me get my G27 set up, profiler wise and stuff. And ever since that day, I've been using pretty much the same settings. So yeah, just condolences to his family. I'd like to thank the owners here, Sean Prime, and kind of the head of operational group, Jeremy Jeffries, Jason Scheck, and Josh Metallic. The admins here on Wednesdays, Jeff Supta, Ron Hagelin. FRN, Seth and Jack, thank you for taking time out for us. My teammates with XFM, my friends and family for watching, and my girlfriend, Brittany.
Well, that's Grant Wesley. Brings it home solidly on the podium to close out season 66 here for the Aero88 series. He will finish runner-up in the championship standings after an incredible season that saw him go to victory lane 4 different times. All 4 wins in a row, almost swept the month of October. Congratulations on a great overall season, Grant, and best of luck in season 67.
Thank you, guys.
Let's see if we can now get a hold of a
User
driver
was
that
moved
was
out of
not
your
in the hunt
channel.
for the championship, but very much in the hunt for the victory here tonight. Let's get a hold of tonight's runner-up, Josh Metallic.
User was moved to your
Hey,
channel.
Josh, it's Jack and Seth up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Got a copy.
I'll tell you what, we were kind of wondering if maybe, just maybe, we'd be talking to you in victory lane, especially on that last run. I think we targeted turn 2, seemed to be a difference maker of a corner for you. You were able to find something on corner exit that always closed you up to the back bumper of Supta in preparation for turn 3. What were you able to find that allowed you that opportunity? Because it seemed like this was a racetrack where it was very difficult to gain track position and complete passes.
It was difficult. You had to basically pressure people into mistakes. He didn't make, Super didn't make many, but as soon as I got out front, I started making all kinds of mistakes. And when I got back in line, I felt better being the chaser than the chasey. But I felt like I got in turn 1 pretty good. I was beating him on entry, and then we were pretty even on exit. Maybe he got me a little on the exit. And yeah, turn 2, if you hit it right, if you hit all these turns right, you can really get great speed off the corner. You have to really toy with the throttle. It's almost like dirt track driving. I was drifting the whole time in each turn, using the gas to kind of get the car pointed, and just gas it off the turns. And I was driving on the edge the whole time. I mean, there was no just riding. I guess early on I was riding. I let him get a big lead, and then I said, well, after the next restart, I'll try to keep up and learn how he's driving it, because he's very fast here, and kind of picked up his line, his brake points, everything else, and just try to keep the pressure on the rest of the night.
Yeah, Grant, who we just talked with, said that one of his favorite things of running behind you was watching you hang the thing out every single corner. Obviously, we documented that you were part-time this season, but talk to me about the scenario there, because it looked like in certain portions of the track, as we documented, you were just a tick quicker than the 11. The scenario, based off of what we had in the closing stages, was if Supta ended up finishing, I believe it was 8th, he had the championship locked up. How do you balance between knowing that you're maybe just a little bit better than the guy in front of you? You want that first trip to victory lane, but at the same time, the guy ahead of you is battling for a championship title in the season finale.
Well, I'll correct you a little bit. He was better. I learned from him throughout the night, just riding behind him. And if he hit the grass 1 or 2 times, that's when I got my run. As soon as I got by him, he could get by me back, because I was driving in my mirror too much. Just try not to make a mistake and overthinking it and missing my lines or my braking points or whatever. But yeah, there's points where I felt I was better, parts where he was better. I was really struggling nailing it just right out of turn 3, because turn 1's probably your easiest place to try to pass. Turn 3 was scary. Turn 2's pretty tough. So if I could get a better turn 3 exit, I could have gone after him a little bit more. But yeah, I knew he and Grant were running for championship, and I didn't want to do anything stupid to mess either one of them up, but I wasn't just going to ride either.
Well, certainly made things exciting in the closing stages of this finale here tonight. Great way to be able to end off the season for you, Josh. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for thank you, sponsors, and shoutouts.
Appreciate that. Just want to give, first condolences, if Dee's watching, Dee Dixon. We miss Bob already. Tom Dixon, he hasn't been around too much lately, but we're all thinking of him tonight, and will be for a while. So, that's the first thing. Congrats to Grant on both the win and the championship, and thanks to Jeff Supta, Ron Hagelin, admin in the series. Yeah, I hope to be back on a more regular basis next season. This season work-wise was just a mess. So hope to be back to more normal working time. Thanks all the drivers showing up. Sean Prime, it's been a heck of a year. Losing Bones. Some others, you know, just you know, we bad rash. Bill Townsend passed away. We found out as well. He raced over here for a little bit, but he was around for a long time prior to even his RTG days. So, yeah, you're right before the holidays. It's always tough, but thanks to you guys as well. Always love going back and watching these broadcasts, and hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks everyone for keeping this place going.
Absolutely. Well, that's Josh Metallic. Brings it home solidly here tonight in second place. Congratulations on a great way to end out the season. And not last time we're going to see you in an Aero88 car. We'll see you at that Happy Holidays 200 at Michigan on December 15th. So best of luck there.
Looking forward to it. That'll be a good race too. So we'll see you Thursday and again on Monday.
Sounds good. That is Josh Metallic. Brings it home second place here tonight.
User
Mentioned that
was
he
moved out of your
ran
channel.
a part-time schedule here this season. In the 7 starts that he made, including tonight, finished runner-up 3 different times. So he was definitely in the conversation for a victory this season. Just could not seem to get that one position better. This driver was able to find that one position better several times, a total of 6 times he went to victory lane, including tonight, where he picks up the season 66 Aero88 Series Championship. Let's dial up Jeff Supta.
User was moved to your
Hey
channel.
Jeff, it's the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Okay, so first question for you, because we've talked with you the last couple of weeks leading up to this finale. Checkered flag wave, did you finally have the sensation of feeling safe?
It was a checkered flag because it wasn't even the last turn because Josh was running so good that I thought it was overdriving the car. And one little touch on that grass or getting it too loose and it would have been gone.
So yeah, interesting you bring that up, because it seemed like beginning of this race, nobody could touch the lap times you were turning. You had over 2 seconds of a gap back to the 39. Fast forward to the second half of this race, and he's able to keep you within a couple of car lengths. What changed either on your end, or do you think maybe being behind you, he may have learned some things to be able to keep in touch with you?
It's actually 2 things. His learning curve was terrific. I mean, for somebody who's never run a lap here before tonight, he was hounding me. And I know there's similar tracks like Milwaukee where he runs right there and hounds me or beats me at it. And then the first run, like you were saying, I was actually kind of just trying to be smooth and take it easy. And then I was driving harder the second half, which actually slowed me down, I think. So I'm thinking about it now. I think I kind of had to because he was right there, and if I took it too easy, he would have gotten me, and I would have kind of been on the back foot a little bit, worrying.
You know, you and I, we were talking earlier on this evening before you guys went green about the potential championship clinching scenarios, whether it was yourself or Grant. And one of the big things that seemed to be a stress point was that most laps led bonus point. You took care of that contingency plan right out of the gate. We saw you end up leading, I believe it was just after halfway, 40 laps to lock up that bonus point. And then you're able to bring it home with 63 of the 70 laps led out in front, pick up the victory and the championship. It kind of seemed like when you had the track position with the pole, the goal was just keep this 11 car out in front. Don't even fall into the type of scenario where maybe the 88 can close up the gap on you.
Yeah, but the problem is up front, when you're out front by yourself, it's nice to have clean air, but when you're following somebody, it actually feels better because you have somebody to judge it and you're to try to keep up with them or catch them or do something. So it's easier to not screw up when you're following somebody.
We also saw here tonight, obviously, the tribute lap. Obviously, the 143 we know was driven by Ron Hagelin in tribute of Bob Dixon. You were also alongside of him in this David Cannon tribute scheme. You know, Jack brought up a great point here tonight. You've run this tribute scheme numerous races during the course of the season. Was there a little bit more motivation here tonight to cap off the season in this paint scheme?
That's exactly why I drove it tonight. Just, yeah, if I was going to win it, I wanted to do it in this car.
Well, an incredible close to the season for you, Jeff. I mean, I'm just looking over the stats. In the last 6 races, including tonight, 5 trips to victory lane. The only blemish was the 15th at Texas World. You pick up the win tonight in the finale, the championship as well. Incredible 6-win season for this 11 team. We'll let you get back to your celebrating here, but before we do, man, the floor is yours for victory lane and championship. Thank you, sponsors and shoutouts.
I just want to express my condolences to Bob Dixon's family, Dee, his wife. I got to text her a little bit. She kind of kept me updated on what was going on with him, and she was very touched to how much he actually meant to us in this community. So this was for David and for Bob, the championship and the win. Just nice to finish out the season. It was a good season, 66 for us, and can't wait for next season.
Well, incredible season to be sure. Congratulations on your victory here tonight, as well as your championship here in season 66 of the RTG Aero88 series. Go and enjoy it, and best of luck in season 67 as you'll be going in as the defending champion.
All right. Thanks, Seth, and thank you, Jack.
That's Jeff Supta, your champion here in
User was
season
moved out of your
66,
channel.
as well as winner here tonight. It's interesting, I mentioned about the fact that 5 of the last 6 races this season, he parked in victory lane. 4 of his 6 wins, he won from the pole position and led 36% of the laps during the course of the 14 races run this season. Those are staggering, dominant statistics there for a driver that has claimed the championship here tonight. Another driver, though, that has claimed a championship, finished 7th in the overall standings and takes the Challenger Championship here tonight, is Bobby Farrell. Let's see if we can dial up the driver of the Petty Blue 92.
User was moved to
Hey,
your
Bobby,
channel.
it's the guys up here in the FRM booth. You got a copy?
Loud and clear.
Man, I'll tell you what, heck of a season, 13 races, 7 top 10s, cap off the evening with a top 10 run as well, and claim the Challenger Championship. A lot of drivers documented on the challenging racetracks here. A lot of them hadn't run these racetracks either in a long time or ever before. Talk to me about the battle that went on in the Challenger Championship here during the course of this season and how good it feels to claim that title here tonight at Walt Disney World Speedway.
I'll tell you what, it was a tough one. I was looking over the win stats, and Doug Cody had me in the win column. A couple races he didn't show up, but I was hoping would be nice to been able to battle him head to head. But I'll take a championship anyway and get him, because we definitely had some tough tracks this season, some new tracks that I haven't run myself personally in an online league setting, but it was a fun season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch the second half of this season and watch the battles that went on, not only for the overall championship, but for this Challenger Championship as well. Obviously, when you're running in the Challenger Championship, you have a different set of drivers that you're on the lookout for. Does it maybe make it a little bit more difficult being a Challenger driver, because normally the drivers you're battling with, you're back in the thick of it where the double wide, the 3 wide's all happening? Is it maybe a tougher championship to maybe earn?
I would say they're both pretty tough. I know as far as the Challenger stuff goes, it is a little bit difficult to kind of keep track of everybody, because you got so many guys on the track, and then you're trying to figure out who's in the Challenger series with you. Some guys show up, some guys don't, but it makes it difficult to try and keep track of them during the race and know where you come out during that part of the race itself.
Well, with picking up that Challenger Championship, going to be going into season 67, the defending champion of that. I mean, what does that do as far as motivation now to try and go back to back?
I want to repeat. It's not easy for guys like me, and I know Bob Dixon was in this Challenger series. Unfortunately, we lost him today, and Doug Cady, Cy Jones, these guys, we run in the back. We're not up to par with the guys that run up front. So we're kind of the back markers. So it gives us something to shoot for and something to look forward to during each race. But I enjoy it, and hopefully we'll give these guys a run next season and be sitting up here on top again.
Well, there you go. That sounds good. Bobby, congratulations on an incredible season here. As we mentioned, not only taking the Challenger Championship, but finishing 7th in the overall standings as well. Incredible run for you during the course of season 66, capping it off with a top 10 run here tonight. Before we let you go, floor is yours for thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
Well, like I said, my condolences go out to Dixon, Bob's wife, and the rest of his family on their loss. It's a tough loss for all of us here at RTG. Tough. We've had, unfortunately, if more guys than we want to talk about, leave us this year. And, big thanks to you guys broadcasting these races, all the guys at RTG, drivers, admins for putting on this show. My good friend of mine, Jamie, who paints these cars for me. And, we had a blank car this season, but championship-wise, we should be putting a sponsor on it for next year.
Sounds good. Well, Bobby, congratulations once again on your championship here on Wednesday nights in the Challenger Series, and best of luck as you look to defend it in the upcoming 67th season.
Yep, thank you guys. I'm looking forward to season 67.
Bobby Farrell, your Challenger champion here tonight, and I love what he touched on there. It gives everybody a chance to race for something. I can say as a former Challenger champion on Monday nights, they are just as tough to win as it is for those drivers that are battling for the overall championship. So well deserved for driver 92. Jeff Supta wins the overall championship, and Jack, I mean, we knew coming into tonight, we probably could have predicted this a month and a half ago with what we saw of how these two were so back and forth, seemed to always be on a level playing field. One would get a win, the other one would answer back. The points gap would continue to close up. We knew that more than likely coming into tonight, it was going to be a slugfest. Who was going to land that final blow? And I think that final blow was the 63 laps led by Jeff Supta.
Absolutely was. And I mean, you talked about the ridiculously high stats that he had as well. What was it? He had 6 wins, obviously, 11 top 5s. All of them were top 10s, obviously, as well. Only 2 DNFs. So, I mean, and in 10 pole positions as well. He led a ridiculous amount of laps as well over the course of the season. And the championship still only came down to an 18-point difference. That's not a lot. So this was impressive as heck for Jeff Supta. He did an incredible job, and it's a well-deserved championship.
Yeah, and again, too, as you said, for it to come down to 18 points, we're not talking about a playoff system either. We're talking about the most points accumulated during the course of the 14 races run. One thing that is going to be kind of interesting to follow, whether we broadcast it or not into season 67, you touched on it during the race, is we've been told that they're going to be going back to more traditional racetracks. Now, a lot of the racetracks during the course of this schedule, as we mentioned, both ourselves and drivers had never had track time on. We talked with Grant Wesley last week, Southern National Motorsports Park, here tonight, Walt Disney World Speedway, no track time. Had to kind of learn on the fly. As we go to more traditional racetracks next season, I almost wonder if that not safe feeling for Jeff Supta might creep back in as soon as they take the green flag for race 1.
He sounds to me like the kind of guy who's going to be uncomfortable once the green flag waves again. It feels like he's just going to be, here we go again. We got to work as hard as we can to defend that title. So that should be really interesting to see whether or not we end up broadcasting this or not, but I really hope we do. This is my first full series that I got to broadcast here at FRN. I really, really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope we get to run it back next year.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciated you taking time out to join us here at FRN for sure. We had a blast. Appreciate Jeff Supta and all the RTG admins for asking us to come on here and bring you this home stretch, the second half of the season here, down to the championship night here at Walt Disney World Speedway for season 66 of the Aero88 series. We appreciate tuning into our coverage during the course of these final few races. Again, our coverage will be continuing here for Thursday nights as season 66 wraps up for the Talladega Challenge Series. We will have the first of our 2 races in the final round. Our final 5 going to be competing tomorrow night at Talladega Superspeedway at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, simulcasted with Blaine Donlin, Tarnation TV, and here on the Flatout Racing Network. And then we'll do it all again 1 week from tomorrow night for the finale to find out who will claim the championship for Thursday nights. And one last time as well, be sure to join us on Monday night, December 15th, as you'll see these same Aero88 cars out on the racetrack at Michigan International Raceway for the 2025 Happy Holidays 200 for Rolling Thunder Gaming. Jack, once again, appreciate you taking the time here on Wednesday nights to join me in the booth for what was a very exciting, very unusual in some circumstances finish here to this Aero88 66th season.
Glad to be here, and I hope, like I said, we get to run it back. This was very, very fun. Love getting to broadcast these races with you, Seth, and hopefully we do indeed get the opportunity to run it back.
Absolutely. On one final note, again, FRN echoes out the condolences that we've heard from drivers here tonight to the Dixon family after the passing of Bob Dixon. Our condolences, our thoughts and prayers go out to Tom Dixon, who we've seen numerous times race here in RTG on Flatout Racing Network. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Dixon family, and certainly we will be keeping them in our thoughts for weeks to come. We thank you all for joining us here tonight. Congratulations to Bobby Farrell, the Challenger champion, and Jeff Supta, tonight's race winner and overall champion for Season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Aero88 Series. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for Talladega Challenge Series action here on FRN and Tarnation TV. But until then, for Jack Mitchell, I'm Seth Cole. Thanks for spending your Wednesday night with us, folks. You've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.